All right, everybody, all you Move, Think, Smile followers, boy, do we have a show for you today. Because with me, I've got Elia, right? She's awesome. And I've got Robin, who some would consider is even more awesome because of her role here at Move, Think, Smile. Now, what we've got today is, one of the biggest things we hear, problems, is the traditional wellness models, traditional health models, especially business, are burning people out because of heavy client loads. And if you think about it, a lot of people out there are literally working one-on-one, or they're charging for the procedure, or they're charging for the time, or they're charging for the transactions. And in order to really scale their business, they have got to add in more of their own time. And if you're working 30 to 40 hours a week with just clients, and then you've got a business to run too, Ellie, what's that recipe for?
Burnout, for sure.
Burnout for sure. But we want to share with you guys exactly how to net six figures. And I am not kidding. When that term net, for those of you who are less than business savvy, which is totally cool, that means profit. That's how much you're taking home and putting in the bank. How to net six figures while reducing client load. You're only working with your clients 6 to 10 hours a week. That's less than 10 hours a week in total with your clients. And if you're at all interested in being able to get out there and you're dead serious about making an impact on this planet, really helping people transform their health for the long term instead of just managing and mitigating the symptoms like sickness models typically do, then you're going to want to tune into this. And I think I want to start out with, guys, is what just happened the other day with one of our clients. What did she post?
That's big. Yep.
I just enrolled my first 5K client today. And if you look at the date, that's February 20th. Today is the 22nd. That was a Sunday.
Yep.
That was a Sunday. And what's really interesting is this is our client Ingrid, and she was a physical therapist, right? So she had a physical practice.
Yep.
She was seeing people one-on-one for $120 an hour. She's a doctor in physical therapy. $120 an hour is literally what I just paid on Saturday morning to get a massage at a chiropractic clinic. I paid $120 to get a massage, and she was making $120 an hour, doctor in physical therapy. Something wasn't wrong there, or something wasn't right there. Something was wrong there, right? Something was wrong there.
Yeah.
So the reality is, what's really important here is what Ingrid is doing is she has dumped the physical practice. And how did she do that? And that is exactly what we're going to share with you guys today. The 3 steps on how to net 6 figures while really only having to work with your client 6 to 10 hours a week. And I do want to preface this with, this is not about the profit, right? This is really, and it leads to step number 1. And I think it's really important we start here. Yeah. Giving your clients faster results, stronger results in a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
Now, Robin, you have seen the gamut of things going out there as far as like different models and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And we're proponents of having kind of like what we call a hybrid model, like integrating group wellness into whatever you're working with. Yes. Obviously, if you have to physically touch somebody or inject them with something, this is going to be tough to do. But what are your takes? What are you seeing out there and how to get people faster results in adopting a group wellness?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people have really discovered the value of going online and being able to serve more people outside of your physical geography. So I think that's the first shift that we've been seeing for some time. And what happens when you do that, that's great, but you still have to have the right recipe to get people in and out with great results, because that's the only way you're going to get more referrals. You're going to have happy clients, and you're not going to burn out too. And your client won't burn out by waiting weeks and weeks and weeks for different modules or different guides to come out so that they can actually have that transformation, right, Elia?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the big thing that we see is really acknowledging and realizing that healing is exponentially faster when it's actually taking place in a group scenario. And it's just, there's so many studies out there that prove that this is very true. And, one thing that, recent years has also brought to light is that feeling of loneliness. And of course, yes, we've all come on to different platforms like this to connect. But for a lot of people, when they aren't feeling well and they're having a health issue, stress, whether it's physical or mental, has us tend to isolate. We isolate at home, we don't feel well, we're not as, active in our social engagements or whatever it might be. We aren't doing as, well as we want to be at work. And so we isolate, and then we go see a specialist and we isolate more. And then we ask for one-on-one time and we isolate more. And what we really want to be doing is stop isolating, because isolating actually is going to increase the amount of time that you're healing. And of course, we can think about this in terms of, everybody knows the story about the 4-minute mile, right? It's like, wasn't until other people saw someone run the 4-minute mile that they realized, I can do it too. And this is the power of what happens with healing when you stop isolating. And
And this
isolating
is
is
a real,
fine.
yeah. And this is a great important point. I just want to stack on that real quick, because what's one of the primary requirements of all human beings? I mean, we have food, air, water, right? Sleep. But once we get that, what's next?
Community relationships.
Yeah.
Community relationships, sociability. So what ends up happening is, if you want to get your clients, if you're dead serious about getting your clients the fastest results possible, I implore you to look into integrating some type of group wellness into what you're offering. I cannot tell you and stress this enough at how powerful this is in getting clients from dead broken, at least that's what they think they are, to achieving amazing things in 6 to 8 weeks if you design your program and you deliver it right. Now, for us, we've got our own wellness programs, fatigue, right? And that's where we kind of specialize in. And Eléa, what would you say the results were when we went from this like one-on-one thing to adopting a kind of a hybrid model where we do some check-ins one-on-one, but we do most of our stuff in a group setting? What did we see there?
I mean, the way people got their energy back was tenfold. And, I think the biggest thing always is we can always look at our clients and think we see the results or, think XYZ by seeing them. But really, it's when the clients start telling you how they're feeling and how they're really being impacted by this that you start to realize it's like, you're not just making this up. And I can remember specifically one client saying to me, I really, really look forward to seeing everyone on these calls. And I miss these people when they're not here. And so you start to realize just how powerful those connections become, especially again, when we're talking about illness and not feeling well. There is such a powerful component of being seen by other people who are struggling with the same thing you are. Because a lot of times our families don't get it, or our friends don't get it if they don't have the same illness or sickness or struggle that we have. And so to be around other people who know what it's like is also just another huge step in the healing process.
That was super powerful there. Robin?
Yeah, I was just going to say, when I first started thinking about using the group model, I think a lot of us as health coaches, we might be a little resistant because we're first trained to do one-on-one, and that we give better results when we're fully present with one person. And certainly with some of these health topics, you might think, oh, well, that's something people aren't going to want to share. But I think the opposite really is true. And you only get to see that when you're in a group and you can see how they lift each other up and support each other in a way that is so beautiful.
Yeah. And I got to share this again, because when Ingrid posted this on Sunday, she's not working one-on-one with people anymore. She is literally doing this with a group thing and getting $5,000 per client. Her thing's what, like 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks long? Mm-hmm. It's absolutely amazing. So what this does is this leads us into, well, the second thing you need to do. It's like, how do I get my clients faster results, right? How do I, but while reducing my client load to 6 to 10 hours a week, while having a healthy bottom line to the tune of like, I'm not kidding, like 6 figures. Like, this stuff works, guys. Number 2, you got to speak to one thing. Ellie, you want to elaborate on that one?
Yeah. So I think, everyone who's ever been a coach or been through a certification process, or left their job because they said, I want to help so-and-so, or I want to help people, get their health back. Time and time again, typically, what we see and where people start is like, I want to help people feel good again. I want them to feel healthy. I want them to be their best self. I want them to, XYZ. But a lot of times it's too broad, right? We really got to figure out what is the one thing that you want to focus on. And this can get really tricky for people because there are a lot of illnesses that have a lot of different symptoms. So which symptom is actually, the strongest symptom, or what's the one thing that's really bothering them? Because Adam, as we knew from working with clients with fatigue and burnout, there is a whole litany of things that can be the problem. And so again, even the term burnout can often be, a little broad for people. And so again, it's really figuring out what's that one thing. And we see a lot of people struggle, and I struggled with figuring that out. Robin, what
Yeah.
about you?
Well, and Robin, like I think Robin struggled with this too. Robin and I both went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And Robin, you also went to, where else did you go for your wellness and your life coaching?
Well, I did results life coaching. So I did that before. And then I wanted to get a little bit more specific with the health coaching. But yeah, we learn 100 different dietary models. We learn about all different types of conditions and diseases of environment. And we want to fix everybody. We have the tools, we have the tools, and we don't want to discount anybody. And I think that's what a lot of coaches do, is they either want to just serve everyone because they feel that they can, and they feel like if they get too specific, they're not going to get the clients, right?
Yeah. Or they're going to leave someone out. I hear that a lot too. Like, what about the other people? Like, I don't want to leave them out.
Right.
And this just speaks to the heart of health coaches and coaches in general. Like, they have such a huge heart and they do want to help everyone, but that often shoots them in the foot.
Yeah.
And I think what's really important here is that, a lot of people, I'm going to bring up the nasty N word, and I mean niche. And this is what a lot of people get stuck on. It's like, what's my niche? What's my niche? I need a micro niche. Guys, the niche is nothing more than the focus of a marketing campaign. And the reality thing. So when we go out there and we do an ad campaign, or we're marketing our health and wellness program, right? Our fatigue side of Move, Think, Smile, not the business side, but the fatigue side. The common denominator is people are tired. But because of that, we get to work with people with diabetes. We get to work with people with cardiovascular heart disease. We get to work with people with rheumatoid arthritis, with gout, with weight gain, with lupus, with fibromyalgia. So we get to help all of these people. But because we're speaking to one thing, and we're also adopting what we call think talk, we're literally talking like people think, right? They're taking action. They're clicking on our stuff. They're coming in and they're raising their hand saying, please take my credit card. Please help me. Right. And we're not doing it in a salesy, pushy, icky way. Are we, guys?
No.
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I think what that does is, when we're speaking one thing, it just kind of dials in the message, right? So we're talking about positioning here. And this is one thing I see a lot of times with health coaching. And Robin, does anybody want to buy health coaching?
Nope. Sounds great, but no, sorry.
Eléa, does anybody want to buy life coaching?
Yeah, no. I tried it.
But will they pay handsomely for what health coaching or life coaching gives them?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about results then at that
transformation.
Point. Yep.
We're talking about transformation. So when you're speaking your one thing, you're speaking to transformation. Yeah. And so if you're out there and you're worried about your niche, stop now. You want to have people with diabetes? Done. That's your niche. Done. That's it. That's how easy it is. We're in health and wellness. We don't need to come up with this giant elevator pitch. I help people lower their A1C. Done. I help people, with cardiovascular heart disease. Cool. Done. That's all we need to do. I help people overcome diseases of lifestyle. Okay, cool. Go down one more level. Give me a disease. Give me a dysfunction, right? That's the focus of your messaging. That's the focus of your marketing. I can guarantee you're going to get people with a lot of other problems than just that one thing. Mm-hmm. Which I think leads us into when the people do start clicking and they do start coming in and they do start saying yes. If you want to be where Ingrid is, I got to share it again. Hey, I just enrolled my first 5K client today. Remember, she was a doctor in physical therapy, had a physical practice, stopped it, and has moved into a group wellness kind of thing with her clients and getting 5K. She literally stopped trading time for money. Mm-hmm. And this is the third thing. If you want to really drastically reduce client load while bringing in big profits and getting your client better results. Yeah. Eléa, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is we as coaches get stuck in our head about trading time for money. So if we are going to work with someone one on one, or maybe we're going to put together a package for them, or maybe we're going to have, a program and then maybe they can add on some private time with you. And what we end up doing is going, okay, how many hours and minutes and seconds is that? And like, okay, what is all the stuff I'm going to do? And so we start again really, trading our time for money. We're trying to quantify our skill set into an hourly rate, and we're trying to quantify how much we're worth. And that's a really difficult way to go about it. We want to stop asking, how much am I worth? And we want to start asking a more powerful question, which
Yeah.
is, yeah, which is really like, how much are these illnesses costing people? And again, we really just want to realize that this is not about an hourly thing, right? This is not, oh, okay, X amount of hours. That's what I'm going to charge.
And if you think about it, and Robin, you can chime in on Stack on this, so many people I talk to are like, but there's so many people out there who need my help. There's so many people I want to be able to give my help away. I want to be able to help all those in need. Like they're literally like Gwen, our new client that enrolled yesterday. That was her big thing. Like her heart is such in a great place. But the reality is the people people are actually calling her saying, I want your help, but they don't want to pay her.
Yeah.
And they just want tips so they can go away and do it themselves, which we know does not work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will not achieve that transformation by doing that. And the beautiful thing about being able to stop trading your time for money is you can serve more people at one time, and you can make a greater income, so then you have funds and time that you can devote to those people that maybe couldn't afford the program, or invest in something that will be meaningful to you and your family and your legacy. That's the only way to create it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're trading time for money, and then Elias Stack on this, I mean, think about it. If you're at $100 an hour, and let's say you're lucky to have 20 clients a week, which is a heavy client load for most people. Let's break out my little calculator here. So I got 20 hours a week times $100. So I'm pulling in $2,000 a week, right? Times 4, that's $8,000 a month. That does not include overhead, right? Plus all the admin time, which are probably easily putting in another 10 to 15 hours a week, easily, of just admin. So you're at 35, 40, 45, 50 hours. That stuff stacks up fun, tough. Then you get the marketing part. Then you got everything else in running the business. So everything said and done, you work with 20 clients a week, one-on-one. You're bringing in $8,000. If you're charging $100 an hour, your take home is probably more like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, by adopting a group wellness model, and you're speaking to one thing, and you stop trading time for money, that's how you can literally, and you're pricing it at a bargain at like $3,000 to $5,000. Next thing you know, your profit goes out the roof, your overhead goes down, they're getting faster results, and you got a healthy bottom line.
Yeah, and I think there's nothing worse than, especially if, you've got a big heart, that I know for me, there were definitely times when it was just like, I don't know, the time for money thing just always felt like an awkward conversation. And it's like, oh, I know they could really use more of my help, but it's like, do they want to buy a few more hours? Are they going to take those hours? Or, well, I don't know, if I give them this extra time, am I like, teaching my clients to take advantage of me? And it's like, when you really just start trading dollars for transformations, basically, you can jump in if you feel like your client needs that extra session that week, if they're having a really hard week, or, maybe you don't need to give as much the next week, but you feel like there's more ability for the flow of information transformation to happen between you and the person you're coaching, and you being the guide, that you can really jump in there, and it doesn't turn into, well, you didn't get the package with this many sessions with me, so I'm going to have to ask you, if you want the extra session, we're going to have to blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's just, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I would add that I think in the group model, you're actually spending more time with your clients collectively, sure, but you can put in more hours. They can be with you for a few hours every single week that way. Whereas if they were buying just sessions, that wouldn't happen. You wouldn't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about it like this. If you're doing groups, so if you're doing a hybrid, which is what we really like for us personally, and you can adopt this to however you want. Just the cool thing, you can organically evolve it to whatever fits what you're doing. Our clients have anywhere between 4 to 8 hours a week FaceTime with us. They are not going to ever get that in a one-on-one model.
Nope.
ever.
Yeah.
They're lucky, especially like, Ingrid, right? We're talking about how much success she's having. She might meet with people twice a month, maybe once a week on a rare occasion. And I know from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, they teach the whole 6-month model, meet with your clients twice a month for an hour. So in 1 month, they're getting 2 hours of you.
Right.
Whereas when you're adopting it this way, in 1 month, they're getting 30 plus hours with you. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm working less. They're getting more face time. They're having better results. Everybody's showing up at a higher level because honestly, what they're paying, I mean, 5,000 sounds like a lot, but if you look at the cost of not fixing this problem and what it does to their life, because if they got a health or wellness problem, it doesn't matter if it's mental, emotional, physical, Robin, what's going to happen?
They're just going to keep pouring money into it and never solve the problem.
And they're likely going to get worse. They're likely going to degrade the quality of their life, and they're likely going to have a shorter lifespan.
Absolutely.
And if somebody's on an insurance model in America, because I know we've got a lot of people international, but here in the United States, it used to be a high deductible plan was like 5 to 10 grand. I don't know if you know now, but for 2022, you know what a high deductible is? Where it starts? $16,400.
Yeah.
And then it goes up to $22,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So let's say someone's overweight, right? One of the biggest problems in America. Let's say their A1C score is high. They're either pre-diabetic or diabetic. They come in to work with you and they frigging are ready. They're decisive. They're committed to working with you. They do whatever it takes to resource with their time. They don't complain about your price. And you blow their mind away. Let's call it, I'm going to say a guy, right? Because I'm a guy, right? And I was here at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he's weighing 250 pounds, which I did at one time. In 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, he calls you up and he says, gosh, Rob and Eléa, thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know if I know that we're just kind of like working on the diabetes thing, but I lost 50 pounds. My A1C score has dropped below this. And guess what? I just signed up to do something I never thought I was going to be able to do, but I always wanted to. I just signed up for a Spartan race. I'm going to go out there and jump up across some obstacles. I cannot believe it. I'm 45 years old. I'm going to go do this. This is how good I feel. Oh, and remember at work when I told you I thought I was going to lose my job because I just could not focus. I just didn't feel good. I just got a promotion. I'm king of the boardroom because of you guys. And I remember at home, the old spark there with the old marriage thing was, hadn't been there for a while. It's back. I'm king of the bedroom because of you guys. So Eléa and Robin, what do you think it's worth to give that guy that kind of power back for the rest of his life?
Priceless. Sorry. Priceless.
It is.
Cliche, but it's true.
It is. That's
Cliche,
absolutely how we can show you how to articulate it so you're easily getting 3 to 5K or more for your transformational health services. And that is exactly how you net 6 figures while getting your clients better results and only needing to work with it in total 6 to 10 hours a week. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Right on. All right. So anybody watching right now, if you're like, hey, yeah, this sounds like a pretty cool thing. And it doesn't matter if you're struggling with the program, the design, getting online, going offline. It doesn't matter if you're struggling with getting clients, client acquisition, or marketing, or getting yourself out there, or building authority, or building an audience. If you are at all interested in seeing if this is possible for you too, then we highly encourage you to come over to movethinksmile.com/apply. And we'll offer you a complimentary wellness growth session with myself or Eléa. Now, you do need to qualify. So you go over there, there's a form, you'll fill it out and hit get my results button. And if you do, you're going to be taken to our personal calendar. Pick a time and spot that works for you. We'll get down and dirty with your business, see what's working, what's not working. We'll talk about the ideal thing about how you want to help people, your niche. We'll talk about the ideal client you want to work with because Rob and Eléa, you've never worked with a challenging person before, have you?
Oh.
What do we want to do in our marketing? We want to be absolutely sure that we, number one, repel away the people that are, let's just call them non-compliant, less than amazing. The people that are complainers, they're victims, they're addicted and to their excuses. We want to bring in the people who are committed to winning, they're committed to working with you. We also want to talk about your pricing because even though it seems high, we want to set a price that's extremely fair for your clients, but also healthy for your business too. And we'll talk about your income goals. And if you guys are excited, we can talk about the next steps. And I can tell you one thing that will absolutely happen. We will make sure that we steer you to whatever's going to work best for you, whether it's with us or with someone else. And that's the gosh honest truth.
Yep.
On that note, guys, any other parting shots before we take off? Any other piece of advice, Robin?
No, I was just remembering when I first graduated from IIN and I was thinking about the pricing. This had just occurred to me now. It was funny. I was testing the waters and I was like, oh, my price is, I think it was 99 an hour or something like that. And I got pushback because the woman was like, well, my copay is only 45. I'm like, oh no, I'm doing this all wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great memory.
So
Well,
long ago,
yeah. So,
but it doesn't
hey,
work that way.
no, it doesn't. No, but it can work in a very different way. And so you can get out there because you didn't become a health coach, you didn't become a functional practitioner, a holistic expert, a wellness guru. It doesn't matter. You didn't do this unless you care about people. You want to spread your impact. You want to see this planet transform its health, and we can do that. And if you're struggling to get the business thing off the ground, we might be able to help you accelerate it, just like we did with our client Ingrid. I'm going to share this one more time. Enrolled my first 5K client today. She posted that 2 days ago in our private members group, and that was on a Sunday. And if she can do it, there's a great chance you can too, but we won't know. And if you want to see what's possible, come on over to movethinksmile.com/apply and see if you qualify for a free complimentary wellness growth session with myself or Eléa. On that note, guys, it's great to see everybody. We'll take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.